When was the last time you sat with yourself, with your thoughts, and watched your thoughts? A couple of months ago, I did a 12-hour drive. I drove from Devon to Oban in Scotland, and it took me 12 hours. And in that 12 hours, I sat with my thoughts. And this is how I sat with my thoughts. This is me driving the car. And this is my thoughts going around in my head. And then I was sat out here behind myself watching my thoughts. That might not make much sense, but try it. Try and take yourself outside of your head and have a bird's eye view of what you're thinking, how your thought processes go around, and what comes up, and explore it and analyze it and understand it in a deeper level. And this 12-hour drive, I wasn't going to do this. I had like 6 podcasts like lined up ready. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have like so much time. I can listen to this podcast. I can listen to this podcast. And then I got up in the morning and I thought, no, I'm going to challenge myself. I'm going to see if I can drive the whole time in silence. No radio, no music, no podcast, complete silence. And that day, that 12 hours, I gained so much insight into myself, so much clarity, because I sat with my thoughts. And yes, it's uncomfortable. If you think about how often you have 5 minutes of doing completely nothing, 5 minutes of not scrolling on the phone, 5 minutes of not watching something on TV, 5 minutes of stood in the queue. This 12 hours wasn't just off the bat type thing. This is something I've been doing for the last couple of years, where I stand in the queue, and in the past I would have grabbed my phone out and done some stuff on my phone. I stand in the queue now and I just people watch, I observe, I listen to my thoughts. I don't really like do anything, if that makes any sense. So it's a case of, I don't think it would be sensible to go and try and sit and do nothing for 12 hours, but 5 minutes, 10 minutes, if you go on this journey, it was interesting because I was aware of how many times I went to turn on the radio. There was like 3 or 4 times where I was like, went to turn on the radio, because where I got to in my thought process, in my head, was uncomfortable. And I noticed myself go straight to turn on the radio because it got uncomfortable. And it's sitting in that uncomfort that allows you to grow, to develop, to learn more about yourself. The more you can learn about yourself, like, this is you. And if you fully understand yourself, you start to become whole. And what normally happens is we're this, and we're seeking that wholeness from external. Whereas if we get it from the internal, we no longer need the external. And it's just an interesting thing to start to try and do. Start to try and do 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, build it up steadily, and sit in the uncomfort, because the uncomfort is where you're going to learn and grow. It's hard. It can be hard. It can be easy, but it's worth spending that time becoming conscious, becoming aware, understanding yourself better. There was something else I wanted to say about that, but I can't remember what it was. Am I going to forget if I move it? It's gone.